Let's not do that then, in case there's just like hands
I'm
going
punching
out the side
down
of
like,
the
yeah,
screen.
fist bump, boom.
Sure.
If Kessie does her right and Scott does his left, they should be fist bumping.
Wait,
Oh, so
wait,
yours is
like
on the
that.
opposite side. No, Kessie,
That?
the other side.
Scott this way.
Wait.
The other way?
Oh,
There
okay.
you
So
go.
you guys are
That's
both.
the
Wait, am I
official
flipped?
fist bump.
Oh,
Am I
that
flipped?
works.
Because I'm
I
punching.
think so.
Me.
Oh, right.
It's all good. It's all good.
I don't know.
All right, let me play this damn intro music and we'll get the show on the road. Christ.
Go fast.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Replayer Podcast. I am Pagan, your host this week for this week's episode. And joining me today is my wonderful co-host, Dan.
Yo.
Yo, Dan, what's up? What's up?
Yo, what up?
What up? And joining us this week are the wonderful Kessie and Scott.
Woo!
Hello.
Hey,
Oh my god, Scott! Oh my god!
Oh my god, it's Scott. It's Kessie. Oh my god.
Who? Who?
Oh my god, mate. I so love you. Oh my God.
Harry, we're going to start this
Huh.
one. Kessie here.
Oh my god.
Hi.
Hey,
Oh, a
throwback.
bit of a rewind there.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Kessie, you've been on
Thank you for
a
having
few
me.
times before.
Yes.
Yes.
It's fun being. You can't get rid of me. I'm like a bad rash. You know,
That's
and,
fine.
you know, I'll always come back.
Listen, I'm okay with it. I'm alright with it.
Gotta find some of that Kessie be gone.
Kessie be
it doesn't
gone.
exist. It don't exist.
Yeah, the
no.
pharmacy run out.
Yeah, one day you wake up and you just hear in your voice, and you're like, Kessie here. And it's like, oh, right, jeez.
And then I pull out some Troy Baker and you go, what?
The box.
The
comes.
box comes out, yeah.
The box comes
God.
out. I will bring a box to Manchester, I swear. Hide.
I thought, didn't you have a box somewhere that you made of TNT from Crash Bandicoot?
No, that I got when they released the new Crash Bandicoot remake.
I would say that was
they
a Crash
had, like,
Bandicoot box, right?
It is.
Yes.
Basically, at my local game shop, they had a bunch of like display boxes. So I have a TNT one, the green one, and the apple one as well, the
so
fruit
brilliant.
one as well. So a bunch, and that, and a few World of Warcraft ones as well. Because I'm like, can I have that? Yeah, cool. I run out the shop with them.
That's so brilliant.
Yeah,
I've
I
never
had
actually
that.
thought to ask my local GameStop and be like, hey,
They
you know
will
that cool
give you
poster
stuff.
that you had for the premiere? Can I take that? Thanks so much.
I've
They-
got somewhere.
Yeah, they'll
like,
give that stuff away.
As long as you
I used
ask,
to-
not like
I
just
used to work
randomly
at a
walk
game
out.
store. People used to ask us all the time, can we have that? And we're like, well, it's going in the bin otherwise. So.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
Very
cool. That's giving me
I used to work
ideas.
at
I'm gonna do that.
GameStop too, so same.
Yeah. I've got somewhere like who's the
If you don't take it for
female-
yourself, it goes to someone else.
It's
Pretty much.
who's the female character out of the Assassin's Creed and the London one? Is it Syndicate? Eve?
Syndicate.
I want
I
to say
don't remember.
Eve.
That
Who's gonna
sounds
yell?
right.
Sure,
Sounds-
let's
Yeah,
go
I've
with
got
that.
a
That sounds
giant,
great.
a giant like cutout of her. From the
Don't
game.
look at my Assassin's Creed soldier first,
Yeah,
'cause I don't know.
you should know. How dare you call yourself a fan? Ugh. So we've started off kind of with retro replayers coming on, and we've sort of changed it since you've been on the last time, Kessie, where we do like a
Okay.
little get to know you section about the retro replay journey and like how did you find the community and everything. I know that you filled this in the last time, but do you want to give anybody a quick catch up, Kessie, just before we move on to Scott's
So
deep
yeah,
history?
they found me in a box, and that's where the whole legend of the box came from.
Sure.
And yeah, it was like a rainy
Oh,
day.
Kessie hero.
I do not sound like that,
You
you.
definitely don't.
I am
Hello,
Kessie.
I'm
I talk-
Dan. I'm gonna play Resident Evil. Oh look, boobs. There we go. Hello, I'm Dan. I'm Dan. Oh Christ, there's a cat behind me.
What? Pussy on the podcast. All right.
But yeah, like I found it
Bleep.
pretty much. Everyone, I found it on Instagram, I think it was, and just followed it from there. I thought, oh, Troy Baker, that's cool. No North, better, yeah, and just went with it.
Better.
Troy
That's
Baker, that's cool.
amazing.
Nolan North, that's better.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does Troy know about this? I'm a tweet.
No,
Come on,
Troy,
really?
you
We
have no
all-
idea what
we all
Kessie just
like
said on the
Nolan better
podcast.
anyway.
Ooh,
I
she
mean,
burned
it's
you so
like,
bad.
you know, I mean,
take-
is it Tom? He's cute.
Tom the intern.
He's so
We'll definitely have a little
cute.
topic about Tom the intern. He's what a guy. What a guy. Thank you so much, Kessie. You have been a very you've been a stronghold within the community, fair to say. for a while. Ever since I've been in the community, which is like since June last year or May last year. You've always been at the forefront, honey. And then you sang with Troy, and everyone was like, "God damn, who is this lady?"
Why is she in a box?
Why is she in a box? No, man, you killed it. Thank you very much. Scott, do you want to have a little get to know you, Scott? Who is Scott?
Whatever.
What is Scott?
What is Scott?
Why is Scott?
That's a very good
Scott
question.
is.
We usually just ask about like how you came across the retro replay community, how you became a part of the community. Are you active? What's your replayer journey?
What are you?
What do I do? How did I come across? So, I'm a bit obscure in some circumstances. So, I was a massive Baker fan since like 2010. I'm a big anime head, huge anime head. So I was really into Naruto at the time, and I remember we're in a season and this new villain turns up, and I just remember hearing the voice going, "Who is this guy? I want to do what he does. I don't care. I want to be that cool." And then never found out, of course, because I was younger and I was lazy. So I eventually just was watching so many shows and getting.
God, that sounds so familiar.
Yeah. But always been a gamer as well. Like started out on like Zelda and anything N64.
Good choice.
Childhood. A lot of Zelda, and then when PlayStation PS1 came out, etc., I was massive on Final Fantasy. Probably my favorite franchise. And when it got to
Very
13,
good choice.
13, I'll repeat the slot. 13 is my favorite game ever.
Final Fantasy 13?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God! Fist bump me right now.
I'm joining on that.
Yes. Love it.
I'm not this
I love Final Fantasy 13. It's
Love
my
it that
favorite in the
much.
series.
I got her tattooed on me because I just adore.
Oh my god, what a cool tattoo.
I
Holy
have
shit.
all the Lassie brands, all of it. I got
Really
Fangs
cool.
tattooed on the side as well.
I
Adore.
still listen to the Final Fantasy 13 soundtrack from time to time, and
Same.
It's a good
I'm down the
sound.
road
Yes.
like,
There's so
"Ah!"
much of it, I can never do it too many times. I love it. But obviously I heard Snow, and I was like, I know that voice. And then it got to a point I kept recognizing, who is that Snow? And I realized Troy Baker, this guy, kept voicing all my favorite characters and everything. I just became like, an adoring fan of his and all his work, and like followed all his exploits and just wanted to do that. But I got kind of caught up in music for a while. So eventually when I started gaming again and thinking about getting into voiceover production, writing of some sort, I saw at that time Troy Baker's visiting MCM London. Well, there goes all my money. I need to talk to this guy. So like that was that, and I spoke to him, and it was amazing moments. For everyone who meets him for the first time, it's like blows your mind and just
Blows
so
your
humble.
wallet.
So yeah, it does as well, 100%.
It's true.
But I remember meeting him and thinking, man, I really want to pursue this now. And I went to many conventions. Here's where it gets odd. Wasn't as aware of Nolan North. Wasn't humongous on his work. Didn't know much of his work.
Okay.
Hadn't played Last of Us. Hadn't played Uncharted. I know. This is where it gets really. But
Okay.
third convention in, they were like, "Oh, you coming to our live show?" I was like, "What's that? Like you do a talk or something?" They're like, "Retro Replay," and I just went, "Sure, yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, of course I'll be there." Went to the live show, and I was like, "What is this?" I've always been a big Rooster Teeth fan. Went scrolling for Rooster Teeth 2 days later. I was like, "Oh, that's what I saw live." Literally subscribed instantly because I was already an RTX member, Rooster Teeth Prime member, and then subscribed to that as well. And I dragged my friend Pyro. Anyone knows Pyro?
Pyro!
Shout
Heck
out.
yes!
Yeah,
Shout out to
for
Pyro
many
with the
years.
death count.
The infamous death count.
Mhm.
The Deadpool. So we went. I got him to Manchester Comic Con, and we went to the Retro Replay live together, and then that was it. So June. Well, no, when was that? Kessie,
That
when you
was
sang, it was at that time.
July.
July, wasn't
That was
it?
July.
Yeah.
You were
July,
at
yeah.
So
you were at
July,
Manchester
that
last
time.
year?
Fun
Yeah,
fact.
yes, we
fun
were.
fact.
How did I
Everyone
not
was
meet
there.
you?
Pagan. He was at NQ64 when we were there.
We were there.
Yeah.
If you saw
Yeah!
the guys playing X-Men, that was me and
Yeah,
Pagan.
I was there. I was just you know what, go on that game? Why? Those people. I'll just wait. And it was Scott playing
That was
X-Men. I was like,
Gosh.
me and Blur, yeah. So we
Amazing.
nowhere near
Okay,
we
that.
just
sorry.
subscribed and we joined, and that was that. And the rest was history. We just joined the community and carried on from there. So yeah, I've actually probably met nearly everyone. No one
That
had a
is
clue.
so insane. I can't
Yeah.
believe we didn't meet or anything, and we were saying, what the fuck?
You were
Okay.
there.
Yeah, we were all there. Like, shit.
it was
I
We were
crazy.
sitting in this replayer row. It was like fucking huge. It went on forever.
Oh my god! It was literally. I looked down the line. There was just like replays. Like,
Just
oh my!
replayers
It's just like
as
being in
far
a
as the eye
live
could see.
chat.
Oh man, that is so cool.
On record, I have now played Last of Us and Uncharted.
Just to clear
But
the
I was
air.
a fan of that other one.
Good job.
So
See,
I was a
you've-
Baker
you've
fan
done
turned
good.
replay fan. There you go.
I think that's fascinating that you've gone to see the Retro Replay live show without having seen it on YouTube. That must have been an experience.
It was, yeah. I mean, to say the
Can I
least.
relate that to going to see Serenity in movie theaters, never having seen Firefly and didn't know what Firefly was?
I just bought that on
Pagan.
DVD and I
Did you
haven't
enjoy
seen
it?
yet.
Did you enjoy it?
No, I absolutely loved Serenity. Had no idea what it was.
Okay.
Just walked into the theater and said, I'm going to watch this movie I've never heard of before. Thought it was amazing. Then found out that there was a TV show that it was based on. And then watched the TV show and fell in love with it.
Oh
See,
god,
I-
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
On that note, I've just bought the
Box set of
DVD.
Firefly?
Yeah, no, not really. No, it's a DVD and it has Doom and Serenity on it.
Oh, you're talking about the movies.
Serenity.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just
Serenity?
Yeah, is that what it's called? Serenity?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the film. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got Doom
Okay.
and Serenity for some reason.
Wait,
See,
it's
now
like
I
a
thought you
double
said-
pack type thing.
Yeah, it's a double pack.
You talked about that last week, but you said
Yes,
serendipity.
I thought it was Serendipity. So when I bought it,
I thought
was
you were
like,
talking about the
film.
romantic.
I'm not going back. That is another
I
thing as
asked.
well.
I was like, why is serendipity and doom on the same box set?
myself and
Serendipity.
Dean had this same conversation because Dean was like, "That's a really odd choice," and then I was like, "Yeah, you're right." And then I showed Dean a picture, and it was like, "Oh yeah, this is Serenity, not Serendipity, that film with John Cusack." And I was like, "Oops,
Didn't reconcile.
I guess I bought this film." So I haven't seen it, but I did want to know:
Was it?
do you go and visit? Do I have to revisit Firefly first to watch this movie?
Yeah, well,
You should, but I wouldn't say you
don't
have to.
No, because the film's like a standalone thing. The
Yeah.
TV series is really good, and it needed a second
Again,
season.
I watched that movie in theaters, not knowing there was a TV show that it was based on, and I absolutely loved the film. I had no idea that there was a whole nother television show that it was set before the movie.
Okay,
And
because I had no clue.
I still
that this was a
thoroughly
TV
enjoyed
show.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was only until somebody told me, wasn't Dean, I think it was my friend who was like, "Oh yeah, I think that's based on a TV show." I was like, "Cool," but I never saw it. So there you go. Retro Replay
Nathan
Live
Fillion.
for people who have never seen it for the first time, but had no context, because I brought my mom to Manchester
I
Comic Con.
met your mum.
You
She's
did met-
lovely.
you did meet my mom. She's gold. She's a diamond.
She is.
She is. So she was like, "Yeah, let me just, sure, I'll show up." Firstly, I was like, "Mom, don't embarrass me. Don't do anything to embarrass me. We're gonna meet Troy Baker. Don't fucking embarrass me." And she was like, "Okay." And I know the way she is, she will embarrass me. And she actually was pretty good. I was fairly proud of my mom. But anyway, I dragged her into Retro Replay. And at the beginning of it, they were like, "Has anybody not seen Retro Replay? I have no idea what this is before." And she was like, and it's like there's 5 people in the
See,
room with their
I
hands up.
didn't, because we were front row.
So you
because
didn't
of,
put up your hand. They're like,
No, like
You don't get picked on, man.
no. I'm glad I didn't either, because I've obviously been since, and I know what's going on, and I've seen someone do that, and they go, "Why are you here? You're a fool.
yeah,
We're
get
sorry
out.
for anything." So, I'm glad I didn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Glad I went to the show.
But it's an interesting show. It's if you've never seen it before. I mean, it is obviously so
It's
much
an
different.
experience.
Yeah, it's so much different from the YouTube channel show, but what they've done with it, the way they've actually managed to turn it into a stage show is fantastic. It's really cool.
I'd love to see it live in America. I'd love to go over to one of those live shows.
Yeah, God, that'd be so
Hopefully
cool.
one
In
day.
LA or something.
I still haven't heard if they're going to RTX yet, because I plan on going to RTX in
Likewise, I will
June.
maybe see you there.
Oh, really? You're going to the RTX in
I'm
Austin, Texas?
Visiting America for a while throughout summer. So I might see you there,
that'd
dude.
be
Can you get
cool.
me a
That'd be
sticker
awesome.
rock? I'd like a
You'll have to
sticker
let me
rock.
know.
Whatever, yeah, sure, man.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
that's
if
right.
the-
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Sure,
I haven't seen
sure.
if the guys are going to be doing a show there or not yet. So,
Go with that.
I mean, we're probably still going to go though.
Yeah, I feel like if they do announce that they're going, and if there's a joint thing, there's more than likely going to be a live show of Retro Replay.
I would hope they probably will. They'll probably be there as attendees anyway. I know Troy's done a panel there a few times as well,
Yes.
and they've been
Yeah.
a part of some of the other like on the spots or achievement hunter stuff.
Right. Or
That they
Barbara
do. So
Podcast,
Mhm.
yeah, they're always open. Yeah.
always open.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 But it is.
Which one, Penny?
That's great, Scott. Thank you so much for giving us your little.
Scott kind of ruined the whole questionnaire process by answering
Really?
everything already.
No, fuck it.
I
We're
didn't-
gonna still
Sorry,
ask him.
Scott,
did-
what?
I did
I
do
don't
it.
give a
Oh,
shit.
I didn't do it.
I don't give a
You're
shit.
doing it anyway.
You're doing it
Do
anyway.
it live. Do it live.
Scott's first time with the show and he's fucking up everything. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Damn
not
it,
at all.
Scott.
Fine.
Cassie,
Have
we didn't,
nice things, Scott.
yeah, we didn't do it with you, Kessie, though. So we'll start with you and then we can go to Scott. Do you consider yourself a gamer?
Yes. Oh Christ, the cats are trashing the living room.
I heard
Yes,
them.
I do.
All your cats are
Yeah.
like,
I'm not gonna lie, you don't see it. They have flipped over the garbage little bin that I have. They flipped it over. They're pulling everything out, and it's
Wrecking
just
the
like.
Wrecking the joint.
I apologise. Kessie here.
Um,
Cats are beautiful creatures, and they should always be looked after. And yeah,
You
totally
Kessie
cool.
cat.
Opinions expressed in this
It's nothing
podcast
but
don't
habits.
reflect the host and the name of the show. Do you have a preferred platform?
Oh, as in like Twitter and stuff like that.
No, for like gaming. So
Game
like a
console.
console
gaming.
or
I have all of them now. After Christmas, I did get a Switch, so I have Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, and obviously PC. So,
poor you.
I don't know.
Honestly,
see,
My
now
heart-
I
my
can
heart
say
bled for
I
you
have
there.
all those as well, but I also prefer Xbox.
okay.
Yeah, there's certain games like obviously there's some really good games on PlayStation, and there's some really good games on Xbox.
Mhm. But do you
Smart
have a
games
preference?
on-
Do you have
on
a
Switch.
natural preference that when you're like, oh, I'm just gonna sit down and play something? Do you reach for one in particular?
PlayStation. I'm a
PlayStation?
PlayStation baby. Yeah, I've got so many PS2 games. I've grew. Yeah. Hey, Pagan.
Here's my booty.
I have-
Maybe a
on
fan.
it.
I have probably 70 PlayStation 2 games, but I'm still more Xbox.
They're coasters.
Yeah, they're so
the lovely
cute.
Tatey Cake gave me.
I
for
have
Christmas.
amazing coasters. I'll show you after the show. Like I have to get them in the room, but I will show you. They're fucking sick. They look like PlayStation 1 games.
They're really. They're cool.
Scaldy
Thank you,
loved them
Tatey,
so
for them.
much she bought them herself. There. All right, so you're a
Sorry?
PlayStation person. Do you have a favorite
Oh, yeah.
game of like all time?
I haven't. Oh God. Like for PlayStation 4 or like any PlayStation game or any game in
Just in
general.
general.
Any game in
Oh.
general. It can be on any platform. Kessie's thinking face like,
Yeah. Cassie here thinking. He thinking.
stand by. Loading.
Hi, Kessie here.
Just like loading music. We're like, do.
Yeah. The elevator music.
Can I want to pick Final Fantasy because that series really like got me into like gaming. I do, yes.
Okay, so it's
Yes.
Scott's all over.
I mean, for adventure and just losing myself in a story, I'd go with Final Fantasy. For just for fun times and to annoy my sister, I'd go with Digimon World. there's some-
Digimon World. Wow.
Yes.
Old
Yeah, I've
school.
got
The PS1 game?
yeah. It's like 20 years old or something now, I think. It's really
Don't
old,
say
dude.
that. It's almost 30
Really?
years old.
Yeah, I love it.
I bought that game when it
Fantastic.
came
I
out.
did.
I had no idea how to
still
play
got the
it.
box. Yeah, I couldn't play it. I always kept getting the one that ate poop. The Numamon, I think it's called.
Numamon?
Digimon
Got that
talking.
out of my
Yeah, it was
memory.
like a green.
What?
It was a green sludge thing with a big mouth, and it threw pink poop. I swear that was it was a tag. It would do that. I swear.
Sure, Kessie. We believe you.
It did. It did.
Mm.
So the Final Fantasy
here,
series is
please
kind of
believe.
like your favorite.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have trouble with reading and writing, and obviously with the early Final Fantasy games 4 to 10, there was no voice acting, so that helped me. You know, if I wanted to get invested in the story, I had to read it and like, actually sit down and take my time with it. So yeah,
That's really interesting.
Can I share something on
No.
when I was a kid in high school? I used to talk to my teachers about playing video games, and when they were like, "Oh, video games are pointless, they're a waste of time," blah, I would be like, Well, one of my favorite video games has a lot of reading in it, and that's where I get all the lore from. That's where I start to understand the universe, and those are some of my favorite parts of the game. Don't you know I was talking about Resident
Oh,
Really?
of course you were.
Amazing.
I was
That's
talking
a
about
good
finding
game.
like the notes and the letters in Resident Evil that give you the context of what happened
Oh.
beforehand.
Oh yeah.
Especially in like
Yeah.
Resident Evil 1, when you find like the note of the janitor who started turning into a zombie, and his text slowly degrades over time to the point where he's just like, "Meh, brains. Meh."
Sounds like me in the morning. Oh, brain.
Why do I have one?
Yeah, right? Oh, if I only had a brain. What game are you most looking forward to this year coming out?
Can I do my exclusion, or are you keeping it open?
Oh, okay. We're excluding The Last of Us Part 2 because
I wasn't gonna
everybody
say that.
is going to
I-
say The Last of Us Part 2. So if there's
I
any
feel
other
like
games...
The Last of Us 2 is a given, so.
I have been following the Avengers game. Curious about that. I'm looking
Okay.
at that.
Yeah,
Not because of the certain Mr. Travis Willingham. I love him.
he's amazing.
And Laura Bailey. There's some other
Amazing.
two up and comers in it as well, like Nolan North,
Who?
I think his name is. And
Nolan
I think
South.
it's pronounced... Yeah, I think it's
Roy
pronounced Nolan.
Roy Raker, I think his name is. There's these up and comers in it. and,
Roy
you know, they look
Baker.
Nolan.
Right, Baker. That's a Baker.
I think you'll see
That's
that his
so
name-
exotic. Baker.
His name is Doolin South.
Doolin South. Doolin South. That's it. Thank you.
The
I would have not
Scandinavian.
gotten that.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah. I'm a big Marvel fan, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that
definitely,
looks like a really good game, and it looks
It
like it's setting up to be
does.
a really good release too. So.
It's one of the first games I've seen that you can actually play as Ms. Marvel, the new Ms. Marvel, not Carol Danvers. So I'm really looking forward to that because yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah,
Sick.
Have you
Sick,
seen the
sick.
collector's edition for that game?
yeah. My wallet cries because I would like it, and I'm
My
paying
wallet is
for-
weeping.
Like,
I have seen it. My bank has not. No. It may.
You look at the collection online,
I've
and
not
then all of
yet
a sudden
introduced
like,
my
your
bank.
back pocket or your purse just starts going.
So you open your wallet and like a tumbleweed falls out.
Start getting like a
Christ.
pain in the side of your leg where you're like, oh, that's where my wallet is. It's pretty sore right now. Oh,
was.
Okay, so right. I think that's a really good answer. I'm also looking forward to the Marvel game. What game, if any, would you like to see the guys play next or in the future? And it doesn't have to be. Well,
Kessie's probably answered this before, but
yeah, that's true. But
So
I
it's
mean, like,
something-
But they did play it. They did play it.
They
They
did
did play
play
it. They
it.
played
They
the
did play
Lion
the
King.
Lion
They
King.
did play my game. I remember talking to you about it, Pagan. You were in the bath because I heard Mike splash.
Every time, I'm just want to put this out there. Every time myself and Kessie have some sort of conversation, either on Discord or on the voice chat on Discord, I happen to be in the bath. I always happen to just be in the bath when we.
That or she's in a mighty big puddle and she's trying to get home. Like,
Well, it is Ireland. It is Ireland. But usually, like whenever, and Kessie and I we don't talk all that much. Like we don't. It's not like every week or anything. But it just so happens that every time we do, I'm either getting into the bath or I'm in it. And I'm like, hey, Kessie, don't mind the
Oh,
water.
I
I'm
know,
in the
I-
bath. And I think that was the
are you
funniest
sure?
thing. Oh, I was
Are you
gonna
sure
say,
you aren't getting in the bath and then messaging Kessie like, "Hey, Kessie,
hey, Kessie.
Pagan here."
Yeah,
like shows you some suds or something. I'm like, oh, bath time.
that's it. Hey, Kessie, Pagan here. Just
Yeah,
wondering if you know
Yeah.
you're up for a chat.
Right.
I remember actually.
Splishy splash, I'll be taking a bath.
It was our first. Actually, I think it
Does
was
Adam
when
know
they
about
played The Lion King first, Kessie,
Mm.
right? I'm pretty sure. And you were freaking out,
Yeah.
and you went on voice chat, and no one was in voice
no
chat
one
with
was
you.
there.
So I hopped in voice chat, and like halfway, obviously, through our conversation, where she was freaking out, I was like, "Oh my god, Kessie, I'm so excited for you!" Like she obviously heard bathwater, and she was like,
Splash.
she just like cut like mid sentence. Was like, "Are you in the bath?" And I was like, "Yeah." Do you care? And she's
Okay.
like, "No." All right then. I guess we're friends.
Oh, hell yeah.
Pro tip for you, Pagan. That's how you get sponsorship by Pornhub is by doing
Pornhub,
the
sponsor
podcast in
me.
the back.
Tell the world.
This has been a
Apparently
thing.
that
This has
pays
been a thing
the
for a
bills.
while.
A game for the guys to play.
Yeah, I mean, on the retro
Hmm.
replay specifically, but if you can't think of like a retro game, if you want them
I
to play
can
like
think
a...
I've got one. It's Gauntlet for the Nintendo. Got the old Gauntlet game. It's like, you red Valkyrie shouting bad food. And it's like, oh, Christ.
Gauntlet.
I mean,
Didn't
sure.
they play
Yeah.
Gauntlet?
Did they? I don't know. Did they play Gauntlet? Someone's going to be yelling like, they play Gauntlet. Oh my god. You guys
Some,
Someone's
really
gonna
did.
call
some
it for
diehard
that.
retro
Yeah.
replayer who's got a list of them. tattooed all over their arms and be like, "Yes, I
I
did.
don't
It was
think, I
episode
don't think
6."
they played Gauntlet. I don't think they did. Drew's probably
They
help me
played, like, I feel like they played the original Gauntlet because I remember them
There's
in
many.
the maze with all the mobs, and like one of them was a wizard, one of them was an archer. It was very Gauntlet-like.
I'm gonna Google this. I'm gonna put retro replay.
You're gonna find out right
Gauntlet.
now. So let's
Yeah.
pass on some questions
Yeah,
to
you
Scott.
do
while
that.
you're
Yeah,
figuring
let's
that
go
out.
to Scott for now then.
Why is he on my
Hi.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
Hello.
Good to see you again.
Hoi.
Wonderful to be here.
Excellent. Obviously you've answered all of these questions, but I will still ask them again. Do you consider yourself a gamer?
Fuck yeah, they did.
Oh shit, they played it.
Shit,
Well,
I
you
didn't
can think
change my
about that.
answer. Hold on.
You can think about it while we're talking to Scott. Scott?
Yes. Sorry.
Yes, sorry. Yes.
Yes. I'm prepared.
Do you consider yourself a gamer?
I do.
Oh, what a surprise.
do.
Fancy
What's
that.
your
Yes.
fancy that? What is your preferred platform?
I'm gonna say PlayStation.
We win again.
I'm gonna say PlayStation. I have an.
We
Xbox
are the
and a
master race, my
PlayStation.
dear.
Yeah.
But
No, you're not
there are
right.
more games on PlayStation that I enjoy. I enjoy long RPG games more so, but I can't be a bit of Halo.
Especially if you want JRPGs, you gotta go PlayStation for
Oh
those.
yes. Sorry.
What's a
Although-
JRPG?
All the Final Fantasy games are coming to Xbox.
They actually are already. Some of them are in the marketplace. You can
Which is great.
download now.
I'm game for either.
He's all good for it. What's the
It sounds like
okay.
I'm playing. I'm happy. Like it's cool.
So other than Final Fantasy 13, what's your
Yeah.
favorite game? Is it another Final Fantasy?
Probably Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. Yeah.
That's
I feel like that was a
I
cop-out
don't-
question.
Right. Okay. I could say
That kind of
actually-
continued. Yeah.
Wait, 13.3?
There's three. There's like the Final Fantasy 13.
No, I know. I have them all.
Wait,
three.
what?
I have all three of
Okay.
them. I've played them all.
Oh, okay. Woo.
Wait, wait,
I
wait,
did,
wait.
but I
Chill
Chill
actually,
your
like-
biscuits.
I didn't like 13.3 though.
That's for
Lightning
me,
Returns.
it's the narrative. I really love stories. I love characters. I love themes of that, and that's those games for me are just stunning.
Okay.
But if
I-
I had to
I
pick
have-
another
finish it.
thing, it'd probably be Ocarina of Time because it was the first game I ever played. And it's still
Ooh.
Nice.
That could be a game for the guys to play. I feel
my
like
answer
that's definitely been mentioned before. Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Just quickly, I don't know anything about Final Fantasy. Period.
Really?
No. So with regards to 13, there's 3 games of 13.
They released
they-
13 free games.
Each Final Fantasy game has like its own story, so you don't have to play them all. You can do if you're crazy like us,
They're-
but you
Final
like,
Fantasy X did it first. Final Fantasy X had a
Yes.
sequel. So there's 10 and there's 10-2.
and it's got the book as well and the audio.
If that's confusing, you do not ask about Kingdom Hearts.
Just so. Oh no! I've stayed
yeah.
away from that game for so long.
Woo!
That game confuses the shit out of
I'm
me.
nearly
I've
beaten
never
that
played it.
game. It's
So
good.
13 has 13, then 13-2, then 13-3.
Lightning Returns.
Okay.
That's the official title.
All right. Well, fair enough. And are
There was a
any-
subtitle to 13-2 as well,
Didn't-
and I forget now off the top of my head
Didn't
what it
Seven
was.
have like
7 has a few spin-offs.
has
There's quite a
yeah
few.
Crisis
7.
Core.
Dirge of
Dirge of
Cerberus,
Cerberus,
Yes.
Before
And obviously-
Crisis,
and the film, of course.
Yeah, the film.
Pagan is just like,
Zone Out.
It's a very depthy
I feel like
area
you
of
can hear
content, so-
crickets. Like
That's
I'm-
not a cricket. That's my cat.
I'm gonna insert that in post. Just
The gods are not
Crickets.
happy with my answer.
no. That's look. I mean, that's perfect. I just don't know anything about Final Fantasy 13 or
It's-
Final Fantasy in general.
You'll be fine.
I'll be all right. I'll be
Would
fine.
recommend.
So then,
If you're into like lengthy RPGs, would recommend.
Yeah.
okay. So I did try and play. I think it's
your
10.
fucking cat, Kessie.
I know it's.
The cats are having a war in Kessie's.
Does your cat have his own microphone right now?
No, he's just
Like
that
attached
loud.
to his collar?
It's
He's got a lapel mic on his collar.
Drew,
Thankfully not. Otherwise, just hear beep
Sonny!
beep 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 beep.
Yeah,
I'm
can you
so
imagine?
sorry. This happens when we're playing games and everything. Come here. Look, I
You
got
need to
brush.
decorate this room.
Guys, oh, come
Like,
on.
that's all we did.
Mhm.
Right, you carry
I
on
tried to
telling
play Final
yourself.
Fantasy X once.
Not one of my favorites.
That That one I would say that's a good one to go start with.
Again,
Nope.
stunning.
Bye. So I stopped playing it, and I was like, I'm not interested in this game.
I think
So
again, it's more what you play the game for, though. Like some people like the mechanics, the add-ons, the weapons themselves. For me, again, story and characters, I get really involved.
That was 13 for me. I got so involved in the characters and the story of 13.
I was going to ask a dumb question, like, who's your favourite character of 13, Scott? You should know that. I know! I know, if you had to pick one.
that is such a sick
it's Lightning.
I think I've told you this, Scott, like, no, me and Lightning share the same first name. We got both named Claire.
We share the same name.
That's her real name. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do, because we're badasses.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Wow, okay.
Pagan's like, all right, shut up, guys. We got to move on.
It's fine.
Quickly
you guys can have your geek out. It's okay.
Quickly, to answer that question, what game I'd like to see the guys play? Chip and Dale.
Chip and Dale.
Rangers. Yeah.
I've never played
may have sent them. I may have sent them a copy.
Now you mean Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, right?
Yes, not the strippers, because that
makes me upset. What? I thought they were gonna. And now there's Tom the intern and Drew. Come on now.
Pagan thought she was gonna get a show.
If they want soup, I'm gonna tell you how to get it. Like Chip and Dale. Exactly. So I then presume, Scott, then the game that you're most looking forward to this year is Final Fantasy release.
7 remake, massively. Mm-hmm. Joined with Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, really?
Really
forgot about that
Cyberpunk.
one.
Yeah, I think that looks unreal. Obviously, Last of Us 2, as we said, given. I cannot wait. But probably Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I like getting into a game for quite a while and exploring as much as I can and doing as much as I can with that.
That world looks really interesting as well. I think what Cyberpunk are setting up and stuff, it's like. And I only saw the demo whenever that came out. That wasn't even last year, was it? It was like 2 years ago?
Yeah, the
done
demo.
2 each year.
Yeah. I've seen it. It does look breathtaking.
Yeah, I'm not a big first-person shooter person.
It's sort of breathtaking, I think.
Sort of. But it does look super interesting, So, okay, so Cyberpunk and Final Fantasy Remake is what you're looking forward to most. Is there a game in particular that you would like to see the guys play on the show? Whether it's on like a retro game or more popular game?
Quite a few. I mean, time-wise, I'd love to see them play something like one of the old school Zeldas. I think that would be great, but I fully get time-wise, it just wouldn't work in an episode, but it would be cool to see that. Crash Bandicoot?
They already played Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, they did.
They did.
Which one did they play, though? Because I remember...
First one.
The first one.
Yeah, Warped was the one for me. Like, I don't know. I really enjoyed Warped, so I'd just love to see because they start changing up the level basis a bit.
I see Crash Bash. If we're picking Crash games, Crash Bash.
Yeah,
Crash Bash.
Crash Team Racing. Come on now.
Yeah.
Who do you think would rage,
any Crash game for that matter?
Who do you think would rage in Crash Team Racing?
Troy, super hard.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well,
he was.
Nolan would beat him like he did in SSX.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Troy
the
would
same
be flipping out.
Yeah.
Nolan's gotten so much better though at playing games. I think he's like becoming a pro.
I think so too. I think he's getting
like in general. I think that's the awesome thing. Like he spends like a couple of hours a week just playing games now, and before you know it, he's just going to be master level. We'll just see him in the leagues online. It's going to be amazing.
He will beat the Rugride. I can't speak. Rugride. I can't even say it. Rugride. Oh my god. English.
He will beat the Rugride.
Yeah, he will do it. He'll beat it every time now. They'll have to change it up for something else.
Yeah. I mean, it's a struggle anyway. Like, that level is a struggle. So I can understand if he's beat it before. It's still entertaining as fuck to watch it again.
It is. I played it on hard and it was just awful. And I did beat it on my second try, but I made it like sound, so I'm very happy with myself.
Sound effects are always necessary to get you through a level. Let's not lie. We've all been.
It's the rules of playing games. If you hold your breath, your character,
internal screaming, like,
if you kill,
your face filling up, just like
when your face is bright red, all inside, it's just.
If you hold your breath, your character will hit harder.
You gotta see that. Like, my face goes so bright red. Recently, I was playing Hellblade, and I almost rage quit twice.
Really?
But I get so worked up that my face goes bright red, and everyone's like, "Oh God, Pagan's gonna read ultimate form because like her face is going bright red." I have to take off like my hoodie and everything because I get so worked up, and then the level of redness does not dissipate for the rest of the episode. I'm just like red up to here.
I want to see you on Overwatch. I want to see how you're like on Overwatch.
I feel like I'd be aggressive.
That's
Right,
you know what? That's fine.
I think
That's
everyone's
fine.
right.
Side of yourself. That's the thing. You'll never know until you play that game.
So I just need to start playing Overwatch, and that'll be my true form.
Just join me, Scott, James, and Tina. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Okay.
There's a shout out for James and Tina.
Shout out for James and
Yes.
Tina. James.
James.
The lovely James, the lovely Tina.
Quick question. I've never played Overwatch.
Okay.
What is it?
Yes,
A
you've been playing
headache.
longer than I have.
A headache. It is an experience. It depends on who you're playing with. It is pretty much like just all out shooter kind of thing. James would
It's
be
a hero-based shooter.
Yeah, get James on. He'll explain it to you.
So I would
in
definitely
much
say
better
it's
way.
not a battle royale because there's so many
No,
it is like a goal-based level mapping
there's like
system.
capture the point,
yeah.
defend the point, type
Okay.
of thing.
So it's
The
not
one
just
that-
a random mindless killing everyone.
I mean, there is that. There is those in the loading screens where we. It's
I
quite
think
funny.
Well, that's when hell
Differentiate
breaks loose.
them.
I love it.
Yeah, that's when we show our true
The true
selves to
selves
each
come
other.
out there, do they?
Yeah, it's like I'll be aiming
I
at
was just
somebody.
talking
and then...
about Overwatch too, and explaining it to someone else that it's a hero-based shooter. You pick a specific character. That specific character has different skills and abilities that lend itself to combat differently, and you build a team around that.
Oh.
Unlike Call of Duty, Halo,
Yeah.
Battlefield,
Right,
those
okay,
are
you just
all.
pick
Everyone
somebody
is
and
the
There's
same
a massive
across
pool
the
of
board.
heroes, but each hero there's like 3 categories that you've got the tanks, you've got your
Right.
DPS, your damage, and then your healers. And you pick from them, you build what kind of group you want to play with.
That's cool.
Mm.
I would suck at that game. That sounds fun.
No, you'd be good. I want you to play it.
Starting out, it's easier than you think. It's quite like once you learn the different characters and you kind of get used to the roles and what your role in that, like be it tank, damage, or support.
Yeah.
Once you get used to that, you kind of know how to start the level, and then
Yeah.
it's just getting used to the character's abilities. And
I got bored with Overwatch after a while, just because there's like no progression, and
Yeah. It's fun though.
it
when you're
started
with
to
a group
wane. I
of
mean, I
friends.
know
I think-
it's more about the skill. It's more of a skill-based game, and just being good at it and actually. Being
yeah,
but
I'm rubbish.
you
Just
also
saying,
can get
I am
teamed up
rubbish.
with
you're not
shit
rubbish.
players,
Nah.
and if you got shit players and you're awesome, you're still gonna lose pretty much. And there's
No,
really not a lot you can
James
do about that.
James has to go into hospital for back surgery for carrying us on his back. Cause
I was getting really
that
concerned
time-
for James for a second. I
Yeah,
was like,
he.
I was dead serious. Like, what's wrong?
yeah, I
with
was
James?
really invested in that for a second.
James
I
is
was
fine.
like, oh my God,
is
James.
fine. Oh my
James is fine. It's just that like he is like a boss. He will like just like he's gonna be like shut up,
Very
Kessie.
good.
I'm not
He's
that good. Like
playing-
you are that good, James.
He's
Who
been
does he
playing since
main?
it came out, to be
Oh
fair.
God, he mains
May?
God, Sombra sometimes Symmetra. Oh God, he's a beast with Symmetra.
Yeah.
He makes a death room, and everyone's like, I'm gonna walk through it, and like it
Moira.
lays it to death.
Moira's his.
Moira's good, yeah. Tank, he's been rather good with Roadhog every now and then.
Oh, that's why I stopped playing Overwatch as well, because I started playing Paladins, which is the same thing but free and to me more fun.
nah,
No, that's fair.
no, not possible.
I
not
see it as
possible.
a really good like social online game. You can just hang with people, shoot some stuff, and have a good laugh.
Yeah, it seems
Shoot,
like
shoot.
that kind of
Fun,
game,
fun.
alright. It
Sure.
seems like just
Yeah.
a chill, let's all have a crack and kill things.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Cool. So, Ocarina, well, any of the Zelda games is what you'd like to potentially see the guys play in the future.
Yeah, ultimately, if ever they
Or
did like a
Overwatch.
kind of extended.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
No,
Featuring
I would
James
want-
and Tina.
yes!
I want to
Oh,
see that. I'll pay
I
for that.
want that.
Please let
That is
that
on my
happen
wish
Yeah,
list.
sorry.
somewhere. Even at a live
Okay,
show, like just
Kessie here.
put
Kessie
them
here.
on.
Can we get them on and play Overwatch, please? Because it'd be really amazing and cool.
yeah. Thanks, Drew.
Please.
Over and
Thanks,
out.
Drew.
Soundbited for life.
Oh man, that'd
Oh
be
my
so
God.
cool. Can you imagine that? Fuck.
I can
I
imagine,
would watch that
imagine
content.
James shouting at Troy. Like,
Guys were
not
asking for
healing.
other ideas for what they could do. So they could do like an off-site episode with guests of James and Tom the intern playing Overwatch with them.
Yeah.
Sure. I dig it. I want Tina in there for just good old crack.
But
And I want to
Yeah.
throw
needs
a good
to be
Tina
there.
in
is
and stuff
really
like, you know.
good.
Tina.
Tina is really
Tina.
good. She plays Junkrat a lot, and
Yes,
she's
yeah.
Like, I'm thinking I'm going to aim, I'm going
guy.
to shoot Scott here with his ice pick, and and there's a grenade in my face. I'm like, oh no, Tina!
Blows you up.
Oh shit, Tina.
Fucking hate Junkrat. When Overwatch first came out, every single end of the match play of the game was always a Junkrat.
Junkrat
using
or
his
Bastion.
every single time.
Bastion is
It's like-
pain, because like he just sits there and just like camps and just mows down everybody. And it's like,
I love Bastion.
oh
Then again,
no! Not
he's cheap as
Bastion!
hell.
I'm
He wasn't my
excited to
main. I just
find out more about this game, though. To be fair, like I would,
Yeah!
I might pick it up one day and waste hours of my time.
Do it!
Join us.
Please, one of us!
Come over to the dark side.
Something
Dark
dark
side.
Something complete.
I love that. I love that little animation. That's so fucking.
That is
so good.
brilliant.
I'm pretty sure.
Lost Pagan.
Yeah, pagan pause. Typical pagan pause.
Oh, Pagan pause.
Pagan
okay.
pause.
Pagan pause.
Pagan pause.
I am pretty sure that my friends did that animation.
Really?
Yes.
Mm.
I'll find it for you, and I will put it in.
For something
I'll
dark
put-
side.
yeah, for something dark side. It's like a compilation of stuff, and my friends used to make an animation. Fucking hell, I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. But they used to do like little videos, animated videos, and they were hilarious. And then one of the guys that was making those animated videos went over to the US and now still makes those animated videos. But I can't think of what he does either, like what the name of his shit is called, and it is actually really good and very popular on YouTube. And for the life of me, I can't think of what it is. But his name is Chris O'Neill. So there you go.
Ah.
There's a tidbit from Pagan.
Yeah,
That was
tidbit from
absolutely
Pagan!
useless and had no fucking worth at all to the show. Alrighty, so let's move on to the actual shows of Retro Replay. We had 2 episodes this week, but we also had like that little snippet of like the little video where they made the shoes for Community Made. So we might have a quick discussion about that as well, and then obviously the live video. Members
A
live chat.
D-scoosh?
A discouche on that. But we'll start off with this week's The Last of Us definitive playthrough, which aired on Tuesday and featured the wonderful Meryl Dandridge, which we all know as Marlene from The Last of Us. Kessie, you said that you hadn't seen that video just yet.
I've seen clips and bits and pieces, so I know the gist of it.
Highly recommend. Please go watch it.
You're like shaking your head there for a minute.
I think just do it. Meryl Dandridge's like responses was amazing for somebody who's never played the game or has never seen the game played.
I did catch the clip where it's the giraffe moment, and she had the same reaction I did. I was like, I went into unknown what was going to happen in this game, and it's just that beautiful moment where you see, you know, Joel and Ellie, and the giraffe pops in. It for a second it did remind me of the scene in Jurassic Park where like that what is that dinosaur? The one with the long shit. I used to know the dinosaur names. I
know what you're talking about, but I can't think of it right now.
But like
the dinosaur with a long what?
Long neck.
Yeah, I was
The
gonna ask
long
you.
necks.
The Brachiosaurus.
Is it Brachiosaurus? Yeah, Brachiosaurus. Yes, I think. Don't yell at me. But like, it's just a sweet little moment where like,
Brachiosaurus.
for me, it like Joel was like having that like a moment with his daughter again, and like, no, come back, and like, no, it's such a sweet moment, and I was crying throughout it. I was like, this is a stupid game. Oh my God,
I think you're right though. Like, it's a very touching moment, especially after just coming from that heavy moment with David.
Yeah,
You're thrown right into this beautiful, serene moment, and you're like, what are you doing to me, Naughty Dog?
Yeah, I was very. I'm not gonna lie. After that moment, I was like, okay, what is gonna happen next? I was expecting like an infected behind that door to pop out and just attack Joel or something. I'm like,
yep,
please,
we all
no
were.
more heartbreak.
All
Please,
were.
no more heartbreak. I need to get through this because it's such a beautiful moment. And yeah, it's such a beautiful. It's like, oh yeah, sorry, no
it's
words
okay.
for it. It's just a great
fine.
moment.
Scott, what did you think? Did you see the episode?
I have not seen the new one,
Okay.
but I did see the previous one with Ashley.
Last week.
Ashley,
Last week.
Great guest.
love her.
I was waiting for that episode for a long time because he's amazing in every game. And what I love the Last of Us playthrough, A, because of the game is amazing, but B, because of the chats with the guests and seeing that like perspective behind. And I think Ashley is just one of the most not unrecognized but underrated in terms of what she can do and what she can achieve in terms of acting. I just love
Oh,
seeing her
God,
perspective,
yeah.
her stories and everything, and how she like even watching it back, and she must be so used to the game by now. Still seeing her perspective through everything when she goes back and do you remember that scene or what, anything of the sort?
That is
She
my
still
favorite bit.
remembers it back to front and how she did it, and just there's no one moment from any of those episodes I'm like, I love that bit. Just the
Yeah.
whole thing. I like to sit and listen to all of it and how it was made. And the chats with the guests.
I think
I
you're right.
love that. I absolutely love that when they have a guest on, they pause them, take a moment just to reminisce and remember, like, hey, remember when you were wearing that really grey gimp suit? That was amazing, kind of thing. Absolutely, I love it's. I don't know if like you guys. I think everyone has seen like Lord of the Rings and the extended edition, and it had those DVDs with the behind the scenes footage and like the interviews. I love that, and to get it from voice actors in video games and anime and stuff like that, I live for that. I love learning more
Eat that
about
stuff.
that kind of
Behind
thing.
the scenes stuff, I live for behind the scenes.
Oh god,
Like,
yeah.
any film, if I get the deluxe edition just for the bonus half the time.
Guilty. Yep.
Love it.
It is.
Watch that featurette. But I agree. I'm also all
Good
about
stuff.
the behind the scenes. I have always been about the behind the scenes stuff, so I really do enjoy when the guys bring out guests and they've been on the show before.
Yeah.
Like Ashley, like Meryl, and just asking things like about their audition process and the casting process. I love that. I'm all about that. Claudia Blackstone was my favorite when they brought her on. I was like,
love her.
for the Uncharted series. But
Yeah.
no, I think like Ashley. What blows my mind about Ashley and Troy in this game is that I start playing the game and I'm like, oh my god, it's Ashley and Troy. This is so cool. And then within 5 minutes, I forget they're that's
they're not
them.
there.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore. You're in Last of Us.
Yeah. And honestly, like I didn't know Nolan was David until after the show.
I didn't.
And Troy, I think Adam must have been like, oh, it's Troy Baker. And I was like, no, that must be wrong. That sounds so shit. But like when I was playing it, I was like, that must be wrong. Because that doesn't sound anything like Troy. And to this day, I still don't think
There are
still don't think it is
certain
at all.
words, like when listening to voice actors doing their work and like you try to recognize, I know that voice. There's certain words that'll give people away.
Really?
And there's
I feel like
Matt Mercer's
Nolan
a
is like
good one for that.
a
Very
real
nice.
chameleon because sometimes I'll hear something and they're like, oh no, that's him. I was like, what?
I didn't know that was him because I was playing it recently. I had no idea it was him, and I think Josie was saying, "Oh yeah, watch out for Nolan's character." You know, I'm like, why? Why? Who is it? Like, oh, it's David. Don't worry, David's a friend. And I went through, I'm like, oh, David's a friend. Cool. So when I met him, I thought he was actually, a good guy.
Oh no!
I
like,
did it.
I'm really
Yes, like-
liking David. This is
I
a
remember
cool
the live
dude.
chat for that when everyone was just like, "Here we go, here."
Yeah. Oh, it's about to go down.
Yep.
What's interesting is though, like when I was playing it, I came across David and I did like a double take. So first I was like, nah, I don't trust him, and then I was like, no, he seems fine, and he kind of seems nice.
He's so helpful.
And then you just keep going back and forth, like, no, I don't know, I don't trust him. And then it's only when it's like starting to reveal it, and it's after all that fighting and in the warehouse and everything.
You're
I'm
a
like,
better
okay,
shot with
he's-
that than me.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
seems like all right, and then he starts like turning slowly.
Run,
and I'm
Reddit,
like,
run! Oh my god, that gives me nightmares.
naughty dog, you genius.
Nope.
That careless whisper, just nightmares. Just nope. Nope
Yep.
indeed.
Oh my god, can you imagine if he started saying something to you in David's?
If he
No.
sang careless whisper in David's voice, I would be out of that convention. Like, you
Oh,
wouldn't see me.
God.
I'd be like, shh. Never gonna dance again. Oh, no.
Interesting.
There's not a big enough box.
And this episode, lol. Give me the giantest box you can
Ah! He's not coming!
This episode opened with the scene where Ellie and David obviously like finish it. Now first, like, you'll see Joel going through the snow, making his way to Ellie, and then like shortly after, it's that scene where Ellie is defending herself against David. Here is a really big topic that came up on the live chat last week when we were talking about it. Do you think there was a sexual thing between David and Ashley? Because I know that when Ashley was playing it, she seemed to play it like there was. Nolan was playing David like there wasn't. And then that final scene where like he kind of gets her on the floor and everything, and it's so menacing, and she just keeps going for him. Like, I thought that was a really interesting thing for them to bring up, and they were like, "Do you think so?" Like, I don't know, I don't think so. But I like when I was
I feel
playing
like
it, I
it was
definitely
purposely
did.
left open interpretation.
Yeah,
Me,
I think that's
when
just-
I yeah.
Neil Druckmann in general is the kind of guy to never kind of leave anything answered.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
In any detail, like all the details are in around the outside of the story. Like
Mm.
you could see Joel as a good guy or a bad guy all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There is no right or wrong with his stories. That's what I love about it.
I especially love that line where he's been on both sides,
Mm.
Joel,
Yeah,
and you're like, "Whoa."
about the ambush and stuff.
Yeah, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is like a dark side to everybody. So I guess everybody is a little bit dark. And there was a oh god, I can't remember their name. Oh no, I'm so sorry. But we were having a good chat in last week's episode about like the ability to survive and like what this kind of atmosphere would do to people. Like, would it just bring out the worst in everybody? And I'm like, well, I mean, you would think that, but then you want to give people some benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are okay. It's just some people are
It's
fucking
like-
psychopaths.
The thing is, like with villains, like any actor will tell you, when you're playing a villain, you're not going to play the villain being dastardly and evil. You want to play the villain because the villain thinks that they're doing
They're a
the
hero.
right thing.
Yeah.
They're the hero in their own narrative. They're the hero. Even though to someone else, it could be that they are like Satan. You know?
Yeah. And you know, I've heard Nolan talk about David like that. I've heard Nolan talk about like, because somebody's like, what is it like playing the bad guy or whatever? And he was like, David wasn't the bad guy to David.
Right.
David was the good guy. He was leading all these people and providing food and like sustenance for these people to survive. Just happened to be other humans, but he like is helping his people. So I was like, that's a really interesting take. I never saw that before. But that
I
whole
think it's amazing when you get an actor who interprets that as well.
yeah.
'Cause I know there are some actors who just say, I'm the bad guy, cool, like, and they don't read too much into it. They're just like, I am evil and this is into my story. But someone like Nolan or Troy can interpret,
Yeah.
and that's the amazing thing. That's the next level up. I think that's why.
Yeah, I was gonna
Don't-
say
I was like, when was Troy the villain? Oh yeah, he played Pagan.
everybody on the chat like it's very
No
interesting.
relation.
New people on the chat, and like if you pop in and people are like, hi Pagan, and it's so lovely and I love the love, and every time somebody else pops in like, we're hi Greg, hi Kessie, whatever, people are always like Pagan Min, and I'm like, no, like Pagan McGrath. like my name.
That's
The sweet Pagan, not the one that's
I've
going
noticed
to
a few
stab you with a
times.
bullet.
I can't make as many live chats nowadays because of work, but when I do pop in and I see everyone there, like all the regulars, and when I know
It is like
when your name
like,
does pop up, I'm just like,
Yeah.
Pagan, and then there's so many people who may not be members, and they're just like, what's a pagan?
Yeah, who the
I'm
fuck's
just like,
Pagan?
"Oh,
What's a
bro,
pagan?"
Like, no.
I can't remember. I think Troy said it a while ago. Like it is like Cheers, you know, when someone steps into the bar, it's like
Literally,
yeah, and
like
everyone's
Cheers.
name gets shouted.
That's the retro replay community in a nutshell, I think.
Yeah.
Someone walks in there like,
I cannot wait for
everyone
meetups to
knows.
see that. Like, oh look, it's Pagan, Pagan. Everyone's like they're fighting, and then like
I love that. Like, I think because there was a big, massive thing about when you had come off stage, and I wasn't there, but there was a lot of people who were like, "Oh my god, Kessie! Oh my god!" Like so excited for you. And
let me set that up right, because I watched Troy the year before, and he came up from the back entrance, like the backstage way, and I just finished talking to Brian Decker and Amelia, and they're sweet, awesome people. As I went up, I could see everybody. Like, I could see Andrew and Janine, Pound. Everybody was standing there waiting by the door, not looking back. And I think it was Andrew who turned around, spotted me, and just went, "Kessie!" And everyone's like, whoosh! And like a stampede of people just came charging. And I actually went and tried to dive back into the stage doors because it was just overwhelming.
too many people are like, "Oh,
panic!
okay. Oh, oh."
There's no box! Like, let me in!
I love that though, and I think you're so right, Scott, to say that that's the community in a nutshell. Like, everyone is so welcoming and so like just friendly and super supportive about something. Like,
Oh, gotcha!
just anything. Somebody has a small tidbit of good news or whatever, and I'm telling you, it does not get missed by the replayer community. Like, somebody,
Everybody.
even if it's not a highlighted chat or whatever, someone will pick up on it. Or if it's bad news, someone will pick up on it and start like a thing, and then there's a whole bunch of love and a whole bunch of support through it, and it's so nice.
It's beautiful. It is.
It is.
Troy is right to say that it is one of the best communities on the internet, because I think a lot of people out there wouldn't be here without the community.
Agreed.
And
And
I'm getting teary.
No,
I won't cry.
Don't
No,
get
I won't cry on the. No.
she cries every time. Scott, don't worry about this. This happens.
He knows. He's seen. He's heard.
Kessie cries.
I
Kessie
want to throw
cries.
out a little shout out to Keith because of what happened in the live chat recently. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with this, but I'm sure there are a lot of replayers that are. There is a member of our community who is Lily K, and she does artwork for the show, like fan art, and she sends it to them. But had to like recently give up her membership, and Keith has donated for her membership for the next 6 months.
Yeah. Did you not see the other thing? Just
no.
now, Greg donated an extra, so she's got a full year. So both Greg and
No,
Keith
I
have
didn't
donated.
see that.
Yeah, on the stream, he donated on Keith's stream. And
Fuck yeah,
so
Keith.
she's got
Fuck
full
yeah,
membership
Greg.
I
paid.
drink to thee.
Yes.
Yes,
We
I
drink,
got my sippy cup.
we drink
Hold up.
to you guys. Congratulations. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Greg.
Sippy cup.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
That is so cool.
I've just
I think Keith and Greg are some of the. Oh, that's cool. Is that a mimic of the cup?
I want one.
How did you get that?
This is Brandy's. I think she got it from.
She stole
Oh,
it.
so she did get it from the original artist. I can't remember what her name is.
I think so. Yeah.
But we should
I
find
forget.
it and see does she make more.
Brandy would know.
I want to get one of those cool
Brandy!
Phil Kensington bags above what I've seen. I
Yeah.
wanna, yeah.
The Phil
I just want
Kensington
the name
tote.
of-
Just
Showing
plug
upstairs.
your merch a little bit.
That'd be so cool. I want fucking official merch. Listen, Drew. No, I won't because
Drew,
I think that was
Pagan here.
Pagan here. No, that was like plugged it quite a lot in the live chat this week as well. All right, short,
That's another thing I like.
Short and sweet
The
with
people-
the Last of Us playthrough. Only because, like, I mean, you guys haven't seen it as well. It was a
Apologies.
really good episode. No, not at all. Really great episode. I highly recommend go back to watch it because Meryl Downridge's reactions were just priceless. Like,
Meryl.
she was so invested.
Super.
The giraffe
entertaining.
moment.
She was amazing.
That just find your giraffe moment that I like. I did see that clip.
it's beautiful.
I actually, beyond that, I think she was just funny. Like, I
100%.
thoroughly enjoyed her commentary and her reactions, and like, just she was very Nolan-esque in her commentary.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, she's quite funny, especially when she played such a like, kind of like a dark character almost. Not that she was
Again,
bad
like,
in any way,
like a
but just
villain will
very
think they're doing the
moody.
right thing. So
Right.
yeah, she thinks she's.
And
doing
I
the
was
right
like
thing.
completely surprised by her character herself, like as a person, Meryl, and just how silly she was. The random singing and the commentary.
Did they sing?
There was singing. There was singing.
Little bit.
Little bit.
That would be
Little
wild.
bit.
Can't save
Like-
her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There was
I'm
a part where Troy was picking up salvaging some bits, and he was like, "Oh, all the alcohol," and Meryl's like, "Oh, alcohol, yeah, cheers!" Like,
Yeah.
That's
She
like
was-
Nolan. Yeah,
She
I'd
was
really
probably
want
like, "Oh heck yeah, pick that up," and then he was like, "No, you use it for bandages." She's like, "Oh." Like, oh.
Save a bit for a shot or something. You know?
yeah.
You never know.
Her reactions were fantastic, and I think like it was the same in those tense moments. I don't know if you saw the clips, but there was it was the moment where you're kind of going through the tunnel towards the bus moment, basically where the bus crashes
Yes.
at the end, into the water. So it's like you have to go through like 2 bloaters and a whole bunch of clickers and some runners or whatever. And it was so frustrating. Firstly, on 2 things.
it was an hour of the episode because Troy was struggling.
Yeah, Troy was struggling hard. And
It's a hard bit.
it's such a hard bit, and I suffered so bad. The only problem is he was like, "What's the listen button again?" And the whole chat was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? It's R1!" Like,
I've been the person who circle cover. Don't forget.
Yeah.
wrong game, but still.
yeah. So that was pretty cool. But like, just that whole bit, that whole tense bit, like Meryl's face and her reactions just came alive. Like, you know where you can find this? On Gif and Grace's Twitter. Like, if you find
Yes!
Grace Frick on
Yes.
Twitter, you will see the lovely Meryl Dandridge in twits.
The gift that is grace.
Yeah. All those kind of gifs of so good. I highly recommend. She was great crack, and I think I agree with you, Dan. I didn't expect her to be so funny. It's a horrible thing to say, but I didn't know anything about Meryl Dandridge, and her character is so
Same.
serious, so that was really cool to see. She was fucking hilarious. I highly recommend. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Hyped to
Very
watch this now.
entertaining.
Would have on again. Love her.
Would have her on again. Love her. Yeah, and you know what? They never mentioned the singing alternate ending.
Really?
No,
I
never
thought they would have
did.
Oh
done.
dear.
I thought they would.
I did not see
it.
that. I actually didn't know about that until I actually beat the game myself, and I think it was again like Janine and Josie were like, "Watch this! This is the clip." And then Josie sent me the link to it. I'm like, "Okay, give me 5 minutes," and I watched it. I was like, "That is just amazing! I want that. That is. Can that
So
be
good.
in? Can we have that patched in? Can we have that in the game, please?
How
I need that."
I'll have that.
How does
Yeah.
your brain work like that? Like, that blew my mind. Firstly, like, I understand what she's doing because she's reciting her lines in a way that, like, has, you know, this beautiful melodic tone. It was so great. And she's known for Broadway productions like Jesus Christ Superstar and Rent. Like, this girl could sing. But Troy just picked it up so quickly without, like, hesitation. Just picked it up.
I love how it was like, no, because it was like Neil was like, look, don't worry about dropping the gun, just go in, carry on with the scene, don't worry about a thing. And he told her, like, just sing it. And she like, he comes in with the gun, doesn't drop the gun, has it ready, and goes, "You can't save her." I'm like, oh, yeah,
Have
mind
you
blown.
seen the actual live production they did?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
When they redid that scene again, like
there's a man in my arms. Sorry.
It's just,
Oh, it's so
fucking
good.
talented bastards.
Bastards.
Those fiends they are.
I've always said this on the
talented.
podcast, and I remain to this day the same. Where it's like, they're talented, they're good looking, they're nice people. They've got to be secretly like a douchebag.
They've made
somewhere.
a deal with
They have to-
ethereal god.
Yeah.
they've been to
somewhere.
a crossroads or two in their time.
Yeah.
Yes.
They must litter or something about them. Like, something has to be
Some
wrong.
dirt. What do you do?
Kill puppy.
I say in jest. I say
Hey,
in
Drew,
jest.
Kessie here. Have you got any dirt on Trey and Nolan? Like, what is their secret? Why are they so good at everything?
Right? Wouldn't that be
What
great?
is it?
Where's the elixir
I
that
wouldn't say
Troy's
good
drinking?
at everything.
I-
That's a bold statement.
That's true. That's true. They might be shit cookers. Like, they might not know how to
Cookers.
cook. Cookers.
I mean,
That's not
we
what
should
I meant to
not
say.
spoil a lot of stuff.
It's like
They are
shit
terrible
half
cookers.
12.
It's terrible.
They might be shit chefs. Shit chefs.
Yeah,
That
shit
makes
chefs.
work.
That
That makes
No, I
work.
like shit. I like shit cookers. I like that.
What's
Shit
wrong with
cookers.
me today?
Shit cookers. He's a lousy. He's a
Last
shit
of Us
cooker.
2,
A
there's a
lousy
new-
vacuum.
A
as well.
lousy cooker.
Growth cookers.
Oh my god.
Pagan's gonna kick us out of the stream in a minute, guys.
I will say though, right? I want to touch on this, okay? Because this is something that you had touched on pre-show chat. Is that it seems like a lot lately of people are coming into the live chats for, especially like The Last of Us, who get 5,000 hits in the live show. And a lot of people are coming into the live chats and they're spreading like almost negativity and they're giving a lot of shit online.
Yeah.
I don't know if either of you saw this, but Troy addresses that in the very first minute of the episode.
He did.
I did
And
not see this.
Yeah.
Is this the new episode?
The very new episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Would you like
first minute
Delville?
he comes on and he's like, "Listen, internet, I've been getting a lot of shit," and basically saying, you know, this is his playthrough, he's doing his best. And Nolan was the same. Nolan was like, "Man, I've learned so much from you. Like, obviously, like, you're a much better gamer than I am." But, you know, it started with this message that was like, "All right, internet, calm the fuck down." Which
Chill
I think
out.
then, like, immediately I was like, "Oh my god, he's been listening to the
Like,
podcast."
Troy's gonna rage.
But like, I mean, at the
Hide
same
your
time,
face.
whatever. Like, we've commented about his gameplay before, but we do it in jest, and we love the man. Jesus Christ,
We know that if they want to yell at us, they would.
they would.
They know us all by name. They would yell,
Proper. They'd be like, "Get the fuck out!" I was like,
"Pagan,
"Oh, shit."
how dare you!"
Yeah. They would
I
call
would
me
say
out.
anyone who's calling those guys are like, "You're not playing that properly or doing that properly," etc. Like, if it's in jest, cool. If it's one
Yeah.
Yeah.
the replayers, we get it, we joke about it all the time.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if it's someone else like genuinely doing that, I'm like, you're watching the show for the entirely wrong reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like-
They even
Seems like
say
there's a
this
bit
is
of that.
not a playthrough. This is a playthrough gone wrong.
And
Like, you
this
know.
seems to be the common thread in a lot of the live chats lately, is that people are like, "Stop talking during cutscenes," or "You're playing it wrong," or "Do this." Like, how did you die 6 times over here? And a lot of the replayers, right, the majority of us are just ignoring it and being like, "Look, it's just bad commentary. These
It
people are
gets
attracted
so
to this."
much though.
Yeah, it
So
gets a lot sometimes, and it can like really affect you in terms of like if you're really protective about the show, and then those people who are really protective and have just had enough, they start going after him and be like, listen, you're watching the wrong show. Go watch a playthrough somewhere else.
There are so many Let's Plays online.
Yeah.
Like, go watch a clean play,
I will
Let's Play.
say this. I've had to deal with a couple of bullies because of it. That's why one of the reasons why I don't go in the live chat for The Last of Us anymore, because there was I won't mention any names, I'm going to be very good about this. Mm-hmm. It was on an online platform. Someone was talking about it. I just questioned, like, how have you played the game before? Yeah, you played it this many times. Cool. The guys are playing this for their first time for us, so let them do it their way. And they just had such a hissy fit towards me. Were very aggressive, accusing me of all sorts. I was like, no, I'm just going to ignore and block you because I don't need that. And then they got other people involved in it. And I had to block like 6 people because I was just saying, like, just chill your tits.
Yeah, just chill your damn biscuits, okay?
Yeah, chill your party tits.
Your titties.
Calm your party titties down.
It
upset me
Love that one, Scott.
Really badly, though, like, because I was just, the whole freedom of speech thing on the internet, and just because I said, look, just calm down. If you've played the game, it's not spoiling anything for you. You know what's going to happen. Just let the guys play it their way.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think, like, there's a lot of negativity about what the show is online in terms of the live chats. And I think the majority of them are just people who have just showed up and they saw that it was live on YouTube and thought this would be interesting. And they don't know Retro Replay or the community or anything like that. And they're just assuming that it's a Let's Play. And like Scott said, there's plenty of Let's Plays online. Go watch one of them. Like, this is definitely not what that is. And if you can see there's a guest on there, like Ashley Johnson or Meryl Dandridge, like, just presume that it's clearly not a Let's Play. Like, they're all going to have a chat about this because they were all in the fucking thing. So you're just
anyone who gets upset, like, it's Troy Baker. He plays Joel. Why isn't he good at the game?
Yeah. Well, if he's talking over the cutscenes, you're still gonna hear Joel, if he's talking over it.
That's just like the retrospective of Nolan playing Uncharted for the first time ever. Like, that's the whole point when they started doing the definitive playthrough with Nolan, was he's never played it before. So clearly we're not expecting him to be good at it. No. And that was part of the fun, was watching him grow and evolve with the game.
Yeah, and I think, like, I mean, Nolan is extremely invested. You can see him read all the subtitles even when they're talking through the show. So it doesn't matter. He's getting it. Yeah, kitty. Your cat looks nice, though. Oh, I'll keep that one. Thank you so much. We'll trade.
I'm just fixated on
Tinkerbell.
I'm just looking at the cat, like staring at the camera, like...
She's actually thinking you guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of negativity and shit like that online, but I think, like, as long as there's
hello, I am Kessie's cat. What are you talking about?
I think Kessie's cat has a comment about the negativity online, and she's like, no.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the negativity on this episode, yeah? Headbutt, yeah? Okay. She's like,
headbutt, yeah?
Yeah, headbutt.
Yeah, mate, cool. See you later.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Right.
I think in general, like, replay, anyone who, anyone new who isn't a replay or used to the show, it's just worth, anyone who does say that, like, look, I'm not going to respond or argue about the gameplay, but ultimately, it's not a Let's Play. And, we're lucky enough those guys make the time to actually make a show in general, yet alone everything else they're doing.
Yeah.
That alone is awesome. Like, that's wicked. Let's embrace that and enjoy it. Like,
if you think about it, like...
Involved, awesome, but it's not about gameplay. And they came up with that slogan themselves. It's not about the game.
It's all about the hang.
It is about the hang, yeah.
We all know, and it sums it up to a T. They need to make a huge poster of that, I think, and just...
Oh, God,
I'd
buy it.
Off your,
merch. I want it on a t-shirt. I want it on a t-shirt.
The definitive playthrough, not Let's Play.
Yeah,
it's a playthrough with commentary, is what it is.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the best.
Like
kind.
Kessie said, it's behind the scenes commentary.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. It's like watching the movie
or it's an
in the director's cut.
Yeah,
I
dive into the workings of it and
Exactly.
I'd love it if they did, like, bonus DVDs for these games. I would definitely buy that.
They used to back in the day when collector's editions of games actually had shit in them. Now it's just pay us an extra $40 for some in-game DLC bullshit that nobody really cares about.
Oh. Maybe just game devs do not have time for this anymore. They don't have time to make... They probably don't have time or the money to make a documentary.
They're making bigger and bigger games right
now.
Yeah.
Very true.
That will span like 4 years.
Humongous,
Yeah.
I love that behind-the-scenes footage stuff. I love seeing how they set the motion capture sets and getting the actors in roles, like the T poses and everything. I love that. I would love to see more of that.
What breaks my heart is things like The Last of Us, where they're coming out of that scene with like Sarah, where it was Troy and Hannah Hayes or whatever, and they do this horrible scene, and as soon as they yell cut, like they both have to stand up and do T pose, and I'm like,
T poses.
what a way to get you out of it, like so quickly.
Yeah,
so crazy. So crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't imagine.
Sorry, go ahead, Scott.
I wouldn't be able to do that. Like go from something so emotional and just
Switch it
back
off.
to normal life. It's not. I don't know.
Keeping in that state of mind, like constantly.
I had to do it about a month ago, actually, on a project, and I had to do this super emotional scene, crying, screaming, everything. And it took me like 20 minutes to just stop and do nothing and just sit.
Did you have to do it?
If they're able to go, right back live, like.
Did you have to do it like multiple times?
About 4 times.
All right,
yeah.
let's
Yeah, 4 times in over 2 hours. And
it's horrendous.
because it took so much. You need that break. You need that time to readjust. So how anyone on The Last of Us did what they did, as much as they did, as in depth.
I agree.
It's like theatre work. Like doing rehearsals, you have to constantly rehearse that scene over and over again. And then when you're doing it, because I did theatre. When you're doing like the full production of it, like the full show of it, it's that dreaded moment. Oh, I've got to do that moment. I got to get ready for that to let loose that emotion, kind of thing. It's such hats off to them for doing it over and over again. Oh my god!
In relation to especially with that kind of theater, because in like a voiceover volume studio, you would have to do the whole thing. Like, they don't stop you. It's not like camera work where they're like, okay, we're going to get it from this angle, now we're going to get it from this angle, which could also be equally trying. But they do the whole scene, the length of the whole scene, cut it, T-pose, start again. And you're like, shit me. Like, you have no time.
Did you not get it the first time?
Yeah. Tell me you got that. Tell me you got that.
I need some chocolate. I can't do this.
Yeah, sick. Anyway, moving on. Let's quickly have a quick chat about Retro Replay Level 3 Episode 2, where they played Sonic 1991 for the Sega Genesis. I've never played the Sega Genesis, but I have played Sonic. I have no idea how. Don't ask me how. I don't know. I've played 1 or 2 levels. I must have been at a friend's house, but it is frustrating AF, so I was pretty interested to see this. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the controls in that game are trash.
What did you say?
Always have been. The controls in that game are trash.
Sonic the Hedgehog! Get out. That game is...
No, I didn't say the game is trash. I said the controls are trash.
I don't know. I've not played it. Well, I have, but like I can't remember where, because I definitely remember being the damn hedgehog and like having to spin and getting the rings and
the spin attack. Hedgehog. All right, the spin attack only appeared in number 2 and 3. It was never into 1. If you did that on 1, you just look down on the camera, go and pan down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Must have been playing something else.
I was watching it. I was like, you don't do spin attack in 1. Sorry, Nolan, but no, no, Nolan, no.
Have you guys played much of this game before?
Yes,
I haven't. Yeah. I haven't played the first. I started on 2. But it's funny when you asked earlier, what would something you would want them to play? I would have said Sonic 2.
Oh.
So Sonic would be my go-to, because I thought, they could fit that in, and then I thought the film's coming out anyway, so of course that'd be.
They did it with the Lion King.
They're very on trend. They did it with the Lion King. They did it with Call of Duty.
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
And
now Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic is for me. I grew up with that game. It was one of the first proper games I ever played. So. I remember all the cheat codes. I remember like all the secret, like there's like behind the wall type things, and I'm a bit.
So you were loving the nostalgia of this game.
Yeah.
Sonic for me was the game that I went to a friend's house and played, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't Nintendo. It's different." Yeah. And it's like, "Oh, cool! Look how fast he goes!" And then
yeah.
Sure.
I was getting frustrated at the bit.
Why does he start so?
I was getting frustrated at the bit where there's that weird like swing it, and there's like if they just ran up the wall without jumping, they would have made it.
I was thinking the
run.
same thing. I was like, why aren't you just running at the wall?
Just run at the, don't jump, don't jump. And then they like wait for this one. I'm like, don't wait for when you're gonna run out of time. No. A little frustrated, but that was good. That was good. Okay.
Yeah, man. I felt the same. I was like, why is he still waiting for this thing to jump? Like he could just run.
The one I didn't notice,
Just
we
run
didn't
and go
see
up.
the secret zone because he went through the ring. We didn't see secret zone.
We didn't. That's very sad. Although they were playing like it looked like they were playing the one level over and over again. Is that?
They were playing the first stage. The first stage, and they kept
Repeating.
Secret zone. It's like, what?
Whoa! Oh my god! Just
Yes, I'll show you the secrets.
the cat's got the zoomies. Oh my gosh, how cute! Stop! You're gonna make me like cry. She's so cute.
You look so mopey.
Back. The cat's cute too.
But yeah, I would love to see them play Sonic the Hedgehog too, because that was a really good one. And
I'd like to see them play Sonic Adventure.
ooh, yeah.
I think that would be more fun, actually.
Don't they? That's got voice acting in it, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. I like to see that.
It was the first proper 3D Sonic.
Is that the one with Roger Craig Smith?
Yeah. I imagine so,
Hey.
because that was, after Sonic would have a voice, and I believe he's done all the Sonic voiceover outside
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah, and the TV shows.
Yeah. That was
Don't
a
forget
great
the
little tidbit as well that they included this week where they did a community made video and they made shoes inspired by Sonic with Roger Craig Smith. That was cool. I really enjoyed
This
that.
is very cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome, actually.
That just makes me
nice-
want to buy new
And the
shoes.
suits
I
look
won't
sick.
lie.
Yeah.
They look
Yeah.
perfect for a cosplayer of Sonic. They do.
I actually went to see the film Friday.
Did you? How was it?
Right. Two things. One, it is a kids' film. Two, it's wicked. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, well that's great.
I've been
feel-
hearing great things about the movie,
It's
and I
really
plan on
cool.
seeing.
Jim Carrey's
I plan on
amazing,
going to
of
see it.
course. He's fantastic in it. But
Of course.
yeah, really, really cool. I can't say much more because
You'd ruin it.
I'm fine with that, because I'm going to go watch it anyway.
it's cool.
I'm
I
going
would
to
say
bug you
anything
about it
more.
because I heard something happen. I'm going to about it. Hi, I love you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shush.
I think you're right. I think if you go into the movie with a good mindset and be like, this is a kids movie, just enjoy it for what it is, and Jim Carrey's in it, like let's all just chill. I think you're probably gonna enjoy it. Like I haven't seen it. I've seen a trailer and I'm like, okay. Like I mean, I wasn't.
I saw the first
trailer.
trailer.
The
With
We
the
original.
all
ugly
saw the
Sonic.
first trailer.
We
yeah.
all saw the first Sonic.
That's
I
that
haven't
against
seen the
them.
film. I'm really glad they redesigned it. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Good.
He's great.
That's another reason I want to go see it, just to reward the studio for doing what they did to redesign Sonic, because it got so much flack for the original design. I want to, thank you
it's
for
worth
Yeah.
it.
doing
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
I'm going to go see the movie. I'm going to reward you guys.
That's a
great.
good call.
It worked really well.
Mm.
Mhm.
I think that's a really nice way to, I guess, appreciate a studio that has done that. Because they really did listen. They really did. There was a whole bunch of shit that came out after that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Well, but I tell you what, I love that for anyone who played Sonic, like onto the episode. Even if you grew up with the original, there's so many references. By the way, like the people who played the old games,
All right.
you'll pick out a lot. I just don't want to say anything.
Sure.
But
I
like
wanna
even
see it
me,
now.
me and my girlfriend went together, and there were obviously lots of families and kids, and we were like screaming more than most of the kids. Like, "Wow, they did it!" Like we were probably the loudest people in
Aw.
Nice.
would recommend.
I kind of like those movies that will give you that feeling, and you're like, oh yeah. It's like
Yeah.
when they throw in a random reference, and you're like, I remember. I love
Mm.
this.
I think
It's a feel-good
I'm a
movie.
sucker for those video game films that do that. I think when the Warcraft film came out, I'm a big World of Warcraft nerd, and all the Easter eggs, I was like, oh, I get that. Oh my god, I know that. And everyone, what the hell? I'm like, shut up, I'm loving it. Oh my
I
god,
enjoyed the Warcraft film. I thought it was great.
I loved it.
If I can give a little shout out for something that does that well too. I just recently started watching Mythic Quest on Apple,
Yeah.
and the show was about a fake game by a fake game studio, but in the real world of video games. And they must have worked out some sort of a deal with Ubisoft, because all the in-game footage they show is straight out of Ubisoft games,
Oh.
like For Honor and Assassin's Creed and Starlink. Yeah. But But the show is so far is very entertaining. I really enjoy it. They make constant references to other video games, and I'm always like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." You know, I totally get that. Or here's another kicker: there's some big voice actors in that show.
Really?
Ashley Birch
Oh,
is a star in it.
her.
So I recommend checking that show out if you can.
Oh.
I've been able to watch it on Apple Plus. I don't pay for it. I don't know if it's because I pay for iTunes, but I can watch it.
Think so, but also I think there's something about US content as well. So I think we might have to.
Yeah.
Although
I haven't watched through the whole series, but the most recent episode I watched also had John DiMaggio in it.
Oh, sick! So cool.
So definitely an interesting show that really kind of like has a good sense of the gaming world in it.
I might
Anyways,
check
I'm
that
done.
out. I might watch that out. No, I'll pop it out. We're gonna wrap it up there for this week's episode. So thank you so much for being on, guys. This little segment here is for if you have anything to promote. That we'd like to promote here on the show. So if you have any socials that you would like to promote out there, please let us know where we can find you at, or if there's anything that you're working on that you would like to promote more of and that you'd like to get more awareness out of. Scott, would you like to...
I am prepared wearing a garment to do so already.
You are? What is it?
I haven't. Indeed,
I wonder.
Yes. So if anyone follows me on Twitter already, you would see me retweet this or repost this. James is a supporter of this project as well, so you'll see him retweet it. The project is called Tamera, T-A-M-E. And Tamera is an animation project. It's a series. I've been with a few people. We've been working on a big group of voice actors who come together to make that. Lots of music. And it's under the Twitter handle Roundtable UK or Roundtable Pro UK, one or the other. And Roundtable Productions is the company making it, so I'm currently in charge of kind of producing, writing, and also voice acting on this show, this amazing animation we're working on right now.
Cool.
So that's awesome.
You can find me on Twitter it's Farronation, Farron Asian, and then Roundtable UK or Roundtable Pro UK. It's one or the other, but you can find us off the back.
And regarding this animation project, do you have release dates when you're going to go out? Is it only for the UK that you're going to release it? Are you releasing it online or?
It's
in
animation.
production.
Anything like a series or anything takes so long to prep. We're still kind of in pre-production, just at the end of it.
Okay.
And we'll be doing announcements very soon with teasers, what to expect, maybe one thing.
Cool.
That's awesome.
We have
Excellent.
swanky merch as well.
Ah, sweet.
Buy the merch. Buy the merch.
Buy the merch.
Thank you.
The merch is really well designed, though. I really do love that across, because it does definitely
cool.
when you first look at it, it looks like Japanese characters or even Chinese.
Yeah,
characters.
it's a mix of Latin, Roman, Japanese, katakana. Numerals.
So cool. Really well designed.
I don't know if they could be different letters, but I have no idea. It just looked like the letters I needed, so I was like,
Yeah.
Photoshop.
I need this.
Whoop. And it
No, it looks great. I think looks exactly as intended from your production and things like that. Looks great.
Glad it worked out. That's awesome.
Good. Kessie, would you like to promote anything or pop your socials in this segment?
You can follow me on the Twitters by _Kessie_, and I think there's links to Instagram and stuff like that. And
we can pop it all below in the chat.
Yeah,
Copy and paste it from the last time you were here.
The Kessie Bear on YouTube, Kessie Cat on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And I would like, if it's alright with you, can I promote the Replay community page? Because it is amazing.
You can,
and
indeed.
We would love more followers because it's absolutely fun and beautiful, not
Very
boring
fun.
like my daughter.
So it's Replayer community. Is it under?
Yeah, I didn't look at my phone for it.
No, it's okay. We can
I
pop it
think
down in the
is.
chat anyway.
I follow on Instagram actually.
I definitely follow on Instagram, but I just can't remember if it's
Replay community, yes.
Yeah,
Replay community,
Replay
all one
community.
word. Yeah,
Perfect.
it is amazing, and it's brilliant. Little tidbits and stuff, in replayers in their natural habitat.
Your natural habitat.
Because they startle easily. And here we have a
with a ready
replayer
box.
trying to summon a
introvert.
wild true.
Yeah, basically. That sums
You
up the
leave a
whole
tin of
Replayer
soup.
community. Let's be honest. We all carry boxes of our own, Kessie.
We have the F500 in a bath of soup.
Here is a wild Scot trying to calm down a Kessie. He brings a box. Will it startle her? What? She is startled. It'd be many moons till she calms down. I'm so sorry about
Accurate.
that.
So
Cut
accurate.
that.
The
Cut all that.
No,
Wow.
you crazy high bastard.
You
We're
know
gonna keep
that's
that
not
in.
getting.
No, it's not.
I do want to throw this out there, Pagan, if you condone it. I've been trying to reach out to the replayer community
Sure.
about sending the replayer podcast people's F500
Oh, okay.
to have on our YouTube.
Oh, no.
That'd be a great idea. So if anybody has
I have
oh sorry.
I'll send you
anyone
mine.
who has an F500 video to send it to us so we can have it on our YouTube for people to watch other
Like
people's
the full
F500.
thing.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, their original video. Like my video is on our.
I'll send you the link to
And-
mine. Mine's on YouTube. You can have mine, yeah.
That's what I was thinking. So, but I haven't been able to get enough people to understand what I'm trying to do. I put it out there on the replayer community Facebook page,
Mhm.
but a lot of people had a lot of questions. They didn't know what I meant, so I'm trying to clarify that a little bit.
Got you.
The idea is
Cool.
people would send me their video, and I will upload it to our YouTube channel. So there's one playlist of
So you see
F500
the whole
videos.
thing. So it's not just a snippet, it's the whole
Right.
thing. Got you. Okay.
So the thinking there is everyone who has an F500 video can send their video in. People who wanted to do one but didn't can make one and send it to us.
Mhm.
And new
Oh.
members can make a video if they like. And
That's
we
a
would
great
keep
idea.
them,
That is
In a
great. I
playlist.
love that.
especially because we
Definitely.
meet a lot of new wonderful replayers all the time who
Yeah.
may not be F500, but we wouldn't mind. I think we wouldn't mind still having that little like 2 to 3 minute snippet of
Yeah, just even
where they
yeah,
came
whatever
from,
it is.
how they found
60
the
seconds
retro
even.
replay. Following the guy's kind of original guidelines, I just wanted to put it out there. A 2 to 3 minute, give or take, just a quick little introduction about yourself. If you can talk 2 to 3 minutes about how you found retro replay, what it means to you, what the community means to you. Keep it simple, keep
Yeah.
it short. If you use your phone, hold it sideways, like Troy said.
Landscape, not portrait.
Yep.
Right. If you have a camera, if you have a laptop and you can do camera, obviously that works better. But, just something simple to send on to us. We'll put it in a playlist and have it on our YouTube for everyone to see.
That sounds like a great idea.
Just thought,
I like that, yeah.
That's awesome.
If you shoot us your email, and I'll drop it off straight away for you, dude.
Yeah, perfect. I
That
think
makes sense.
you can all transfer to the replayerpodcast at gmail.com if you
there you go.
would like to. Yeah. The replayerpodcast at gmail.com. It should be okay if it's like a minute or 2 minute video. You should be able to send
Yeah.
that. If you can't, there is a great website called WeTransfer, WeTransfer.com, and they do free transfers. You just pop in our email
Mhm.
address, you attach your item, and you just pop in a few lines about who you are, and this is your video, and this is Founding 500 video, and you click send, and that comes straight over to our email address. We download it, we can upload then from there.
Yeah. Well, that was a little plug for us. I will want to throw out there
yeah,
too
plug
that
yours.
obviously been streaming,
Mhm.
with Brandy playing God of War each week, and
beautiful
we also
Brandy.
recently
Mm,
a beautiful Brandy.
Beautiful Brandy.
if you do say so.
I was waiting for boobs from Kessie, but
boobs.
Oh, where am I? Oh, boobs. She's got beautiful boobs. Her chesticles are magnificent, Dan.
you remind me this every time we
Just took a turn.
communicate.
I know. You have to be reminded, dude. You appreciate
I
them.
do.
I've embraced them.
Oh, Cassie, it's all right.
I will make sure to do that, Kessie.
Yeah, he's
So I was like, what the
it's been a
hell?
while, so he'll be like, yeah, let me just go test that out later on.
Cassie
Brandy's
says
like,
to embrace them. Embrace what? And just what the
Embrace
hell?
them. Anyways, we also Kessie, shush. Kessie.
A box.
Brandy and I also recently started playing Darksiders Genesis. It's a top-down action RPG version of Darksiders. It's a different take. We both can play together co-op, and it's awesome and super fun. And with that, I can give you a little shout-out and thanks for this, Pagan. I started a Facebook gaming page called Deadpan Gaming. The
yeah, because
idea
you're
of
dead inside.
deadpan.
Yeah.
Because I'm deadpan.
He is completely deadpan.
And
You don't react to anything.
Brandy's kind of the same way when she's playing. She's just kind of,
I'll be honest, I'm not looking at her face.
I know. So I make sure to keep her chest in
Brilliant.
frame for you, Kessie.
Just a note, thank you. I think you're rather dashing, thank you.
But otherwise, I am Stark Evil Vash on Twitch and YouTube and Mixer on occasion. Also, Discord. Yep, yeah, it's the same on Discord.
Yeah.
The only difference would be Twitter, because I am at StarkyVash on Twitter. It's STARKY instead of evil. StarkyVash. Anyways, I'm out. Pagan.
Anyways, I'm out. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be
For
here.
having us.
Yeah.
My socials, you can find me at Pagan_plays on Instagram. That's about it. On Instagram, I'm at Pagan Plays. Oh, no, well, I'm not really. I've just Google Pagan Plays on Twitter. I'll link it down below in the chat because the actual username is complicated. And Pagan Plays on YouTube and Pagan_plays on Twitch. And I'm streaming currently every Tuesday and Thursday. So join me for Thursdays on Witcher 3, and Tuesday is a game yet to be decided. So I need to get my shit together and decide a
Overwatch.
game.
Stamp.
Thank you so much to Drew, Nolan, and Troy, and PJ, and the rest of the cast and crews. Tom, the intern, thank you, buddy, for all
Thanks,
that you
Tom.
do.
He's a cutie.
He is a cutie with his little melon shirt. Great guy. I admire a guy that can wear a watermelon shirt and be confident about it.
Hey, Tommy pulled.
Something about that, you know. Hold on, how do you get this engagement ring off? Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
Damn, Adam.
Just kidding. Who's Adam?
The double burn.
Woo!
That paid actor, he doesn't exist. You can thank you so much to the Retro Reboot community and to the crew for all that you do, because without you this podcast would not exist. You can also leave us a voice message on the Replayer podcast by clicking the link in the show notes below, and we'll play it on the show. Maybe if there's no like explicit, fuck it, we'll play it anyway. Just leave us a message.
Gives
all
up on morals.
Yeah, forget it.
No explicit. Oh, fuck it. We'll play it.
Morals are out the window. Just send us a message and we'll play it on the show. We hope that you've enjoyed the podcast. If you did, and you'd like to hear more from us, please go ahead and like, rate, and subscribe, review, provide comments, do whatever you need to do to stay happy, etc. If you have any suggestions or questions, please feel free to pop us an email and your Finding 500 video to @thereplayerpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Kessie. Thank you so much, Scott, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Giggles.
Cheers.
Thank you for having
It's
us.
okay. We did it, guys. We
Oh,
did it. It's game over, folks. It's game over.
Game over, man.
It's
game over,
man.